What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, ladies? What up, friends? How are you doing? So, running late. Running late. I'm not going to talk about that. Okay. Running a little bit late on my way to work. And I heard something right the other day. And I wanted to talk about it. Okay. So, it's about adoption, of course. As you know, I adopted my son. Okay. And what they don't tell you about adoption is it's a long process, right? It took like 2.5 years before I could adopt my son. But before you can adopt anybody, the parents have to either relinquish rights, give up the child to the state or whatever. I did it through the state, okay? Um, and I wasn't actually in the market for a child. I wasn't. I was related to the person that couldn't care for their child, right? So of course I agreed, it's family, of course, right? So so I agreed to care for the child until the parents can get themselves together, okay? And the state gives them you know, those 2.5, pretty much like 2 years. Because the half a year was the adoption process, right? So I would say about 2 years before they lost, parental rights to the child, right? So um, it was just supposed to be like a temporary thing, but then it ended up being permanent, right? So what they don't tell you about adoption is, first of all, it is very. What I did hear about it was it's very rewarding. You get to care for a child, love a child, and you didn't have to give birth to. you know, you didn't have to give birth to the child, right? So that was cool. But what they don't tell you is the mixed feelings that you have when you're actually going through adoption ceremony. Well, I did a public adoption, right? Like a public ceremony. Like you can do it private or public. I did it public. I did it on National Adoption Day that year. Okay, so there's a lot of families a lot of children being adopted, a lot of families becoming one, right? And the day I adopted my son, I felt a lot of like mixed feelings because I was very happy, of course, because you grow attached to the child, even though you're not supposed to. But he was still my family, right? He was still blood relative. So what they don't tell you is how you feel that day, okay? and the mixed feelings you feel because I'm very happy, but it's sad that the parents had to lose rights to their child in order for me to have another child. And it's not like I can't have children. I just was in a same sex relationship at the time, okay? And so clearly that wasn't gonna happen for me, right? I was with that person for 9 years, so there was nothing. Yeah, nothing was gonna happen there. So so yeah, so they don't tell you about the mixed feelings about that. I was very happy, but I can't forget the fact that because the parents or the mom, I'll say in this case, the mom still had rights, and it was the mom. The mom, if without her signature, I wouldn't have been able to take my son home from the hospital. Well, he wasn't my son at the time, but I wouldn't have been able to take him home from the hospital without the mom's signature. So I can't forget that part, even though she was a bit dramatic afterwards, okay? She's a baby mama, okay? She's definitely a baby mama, okay? And so, but I can't forget that part of it because without her, he would have been, you know, in foster care somewhere. I mean, I'm sure somebody would have adopted him, but he would be lost somewhere, away from the family. So there are a lot of mixed feelings with that I wasn't expecting, and it continued for even after the adoption. was the guilt that I felt, because I felt like I just felt bad because, like I said, they had to lose custody in order for me to adopt. That's sad for me. Okay, I have abandonment issues. Okay, so that was a big one, and nobody told me anything about that. Like nobody said anything about that, and until I actually felt it. So yeah. Um, so if you're thinking of adopting, if you're about to adopt, or you're considering it, um, just know to expect that. Okay. Um, yeah. Also, another thing that I heard about, because I'm in a lot of adoption groups and stuff like that, and how to deal with that, part of it, a parenthood. And there was a person who said that they had an open adoption, right? Because they wanted to be, um, they wanted, even though they adopted their child like from being a baby, like newborn, right? They wanted, and they have 5 kids that are adopted, right? They said that they have open adoption so that the children can have a relationship with um, the birth parents, right? Throughout growing up, right? Which is great, right? Okay, that's cool. But for me, specifically in my situation, the mom, I did try, his birth mom, I did try to be cordial with her, and it didn't work because she's not of level mind and she's not of sound mind. She wanted to be combative with me all the time. She threatened like kidnapping him. Like she was, which is okay, like, and mind you, he was baby number 5 that was taken away. Okay, so I tried that route, and it didn't work for me. I mean, maybe it works for them, but for me, it did not work, um, at all. And he was kind of making it like, oh, well, you just don't want to have that open relationship. No, that's not what it is. And I'm not being selfish about it either. You're not, this woman is crazy. I don't know if she's clinically diagnosed, but she has issues. Okay. Maybe later down the line, you know, when she gets sober and is no longer doing the things she's not supposed to be doing. But other than that, why am I going to involve my son in that? You know, if she can't be sober, and she had the opportunity to have visitation through those 2 years, and she would make appointments and not even show up several times. So why am I going to go out of my way to be the bigger person for her sake? No, you need to. She can come to me and ask me, and I'll be cool with it. But you're not gonna. And then there's gonna be boundaries. I'm not. You're not gonna just have access to him, like just whatever. But and when my boundaries are pushed, You're not gonna. You're just not gonna be able to see him. Like that's it. I'm not going to be, I don't have to deal with this. I don't. I don't. But I would consider it later on when she's of sound mind, or even any of her family. Like, I know her family. I grew up around that area. So it's not like we're strangers. They know me. I don't have any of them blocked. They can call me, they can message me. Um, my stuff that I post is public, and yet nobody has tried from her side to ask about him. So I'm sure that situation works with this man that I was arguing with online. I'm sure it it works for him, but for me, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that because Um, I'm sure if those children that he adopted, if those parents were not together yet, I'm sure he wouldn't have visitation rights for his child, right? That's just my opinion. I doubt these people are still active users. um, I seriously doubt it. So I think it's on. I think it's great if you can do that, and it's a case by case basis. But for my situation, on the mom side at least, on the dad side, yeah, of course, they've seen him. You know, they ask about him. They see him around. You know, when we go places. But I'm talking about the mom side of the family. And I actually went to school with her sister, like all basically all my life. And not once has she ever asked me how he's doing. It's like if he's not even. I don't think these people really care about him, to be honest with you, because like I said, he's like the number 5 baby that's been taken away, and there was more after him, mind you. I think there's 2 more after my son. So and I think it's important to stay in contact with the siblings at least, because those are his siblings, which is I'm cool with that. Um, I don't mind that at all. But as far as the parent, no, no, unless she gets her shit together, I'm not gonna expose my son to that at all. So that's what I wanted to talk about. It's on a case by case basis. I'm sure everything's going great for him, and all 5 of his birth parents are of sound mind now. Okay, um, but if they're not, don't let anybody tell you what's best for your child. Um, don't let anybody tell you know what's best for your child. You have your child all the time. You know what's good and what's not. And if what the hell's going on here? There's a line. Um, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Okay, all right, bye.